Hello and welcome to Ukraine Today's Press Review. I'm Rahim Rahimtullah. With the Greek Prime Minister Alexis Tsipras in Moscow today for talks with Russian President Vladimir Putin, we'll dedicate today's program to a review of what the international media are saying about the visit. We begin with Forbes magazine, which wonders if Athens is making a pivot towards Russia and China and away from the EU. In short, writer Raul Raparel finds that the answer is no. He says the simple reason is that with economic sanctions and a low oil price, Russia has its own economic problems and cannot afford to aid a country the size of Greece to the level that it requires. Raparel offers an insightful analysis of the various reasons, both political and economic, why Athens ultimately can't do much to move toward Russia and turn its back on the European Union, much as it might like to. He writes, the new Greek government is likely to have better relations with both Russia and China, but there is little they can or will do to help Greece beyond its current predicament. While the Greek government may not agree with its EU partners on much, it is also acutely aware of the damage pulling too close to Moscow and Beijing will do. We take a look now at an editorial in the New York Times which says that Greece should be wary of Russian President Putin. The newspaper warns the Greek Prime Minister that he could become Putin's next vehicle for undermining European unity, at a time when the EU has imposed sanctions on Russia over its military intervention in Ukraine. The NYT writes, if Mr. Tsipras appears to cut deals with or support Mr. Putin when the European Union is trying to maintain a united front on Ukraine, he will only further alienate Germany, France and other European countries. His government's relations with those nations are already frosty, and it needs the help of those countries to revive the economy and keep Greece in the 19-member Eurozone. The New York Times says that Eurozone members must also do their part. They must be more flexible in dealing with Athens as it seeks to pull Greece out of recession. The paper ends with a warning. Mr. Putin clearly wants to lock arms with any leader who appears at odds with the European Union. But Mr. Tsipras should be careful not to let himself be used to undermine European unity. So with Greek Prime Minister Alexis Tsipras in Moscow, the verdict from the commentators seems to be that the visit is largely symbolic. Russia just doesn't have the resources to be a real alternative to the EU in terms of financial assistance. Nonetheless, the visit sends a message to the EU. Athens is suggesting that it has options, and if Brussels pushes too hard on the Greek bailout, Tsipras could make things difficult when it comes to sanctions on Russia. That's all we have time for today. Join us again tomorrow for another press review. In Kiev, this is Ukraine Today.